Hello and welcome to coverage here of the Meeting International d'Athlétisme Troyes Aube in the northeast of France. We're running just a tiny bit behind schedule. We've got a couple more men's 100-metre heats to get underway before we turn our attention to the main programme with the international athletes. So if you are joining at 8:15, expect at 7:15 local time. No, it's 6:15 local time, expecting the 110-metre hurdles for men. That is just a few minutes away as we cast our eye over heat 3 here of the men's 100 metres. Ngoni Makusha in lane 2, Mark Brian Louis in lane 3, Ibrahim Diomande in 4, Adama Yame in 5, and Israel Olatunde in 6. Dylan Rigaud goes in lane 7. Jame, there's Olatunde, the first Irishman to make a European Championship final, achieved that feat in Munich. A semi-final for him in Rome last week as he looks to build that momentum into Paris. And Rigaud, a final athlete in lane 7. Fastest on personal best is the Irishman Olatunde with 10.17. Olatunde, best of the season's best as well. Just these men very, very closely matched. Olatunde on 10.31. Makusha in lane 2 on 10.33 this year. We have got a international heat, if you like. Don't want to call it the A heat or the number 1 heat or anything like that, but the international heat going at 7:20 local time. That will feature the new Cuban national record holder Shayna Reginfo Montoya, who's just gone 9.9, so it'll be super exciting to see him. For the moment, we'll have a look here at heat 3. I think that was a fast start, maybe too fast from Adama Yame right in the middle. Had a false start in the previous heat as well. I think this might be part of the reason we've got a slight delay here in Troyes. If you are joining us here on the European Athletics stream, I hope you've been enjoying all the content this summer on the European Athletics streams. There have been so many meets, and this week is no different, and tonight is no different. There's actually the Fly Athens meeting taking place at the moment with Cathal Dennehy. That's the stream for that is available via the European Athletics website. The women's competition has already completed. I think it was a win for Holly Bradshaw of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and the men's competition will be getting underway shortly. So if pole vault's your thing, maybe get up another screen on there. We've also got the Folksam Grand Prix from Sollentuna in Sweden with Alex Seftel. That's going on this evening as well. But here in Troyes, my name's Hannah England, and we've got a wonderful couple of hours of athletics coming up for you. To give you a look at the full programme coming up, as we see the official very nicely showing a green card to the whole of this heat 3 of the men's 100 metres. First up will be the hurdles races for men's and women's, the short hurdle races, then 400 metres for women and men, then 100 metres for women and men, 400 hurdles, women again followed by men, and then 800s and 1500s to complete the programme. A whole load of talent stacked up. We've already had a men's hammer competition conclude. We'll cover that just as soon as we have a look here at heat 3, settling back into their blocks for the 100 metres. And they're way okay no, I think that's the same issue for me there, Jame. In lane 5, got away very, very quickly. Made Diomande and Olatunde either side of him look like they were stuck in the mud. For me, just to the naked eye, from this camera position, I think Adama Yame might have been a little bit quick out of the blocks. Of course, a fantastic new world lead for Ferdinand Omanyala at the Kenyan Championships, 9.79 in the last few days. Some fantastic times coming out of Nairobi. The Kenyan Olympic team is going to be very, very competitive. Here we have a look at the reaction times, and unfortunately it is Yame in lane 5. He's underneath the 0.1 allowed reaction time. We didn't see that graphic, I don't think, for the first false start. So unfortunately, I think this could be the end of the road for Yame. This time, unfortunately, yes, it is a red card for Adama Yame of the Gambia. Green card for the whole field the first time. Red card this time for lane 5. That leaves us just 5 athletes here in heat 3. A lot of the athletes that are featured in the A race have already had a run out earlier on today. I think some of the athletes choosing to race twice if they possibly can. So the fastest time we've seen registered so far is a 10:26 by Chenier Renginfo Montoya into a headwind of 0.4. So pretty nice conditions here in Troyes. So Renginfo Montoya took a win in 10:26 ahead of Arthur Cisse and Johnny Renteria. I'm expecting all of these men to run again unless the schedule's been changed. I've got a men's final A down for 7:10 local time. Also had very good 10:22 from Mohamedou Fall Sar and from Ali Anwar Ali Balushi. They went in heat 2. This is heat 3 of the men's 100 metres, stepping into the blocks for the 3rd time. And we are seeing Adama Yame running under protest here, but the whole field away this time. Great running from Marc-Brian Louis in the bright orange vest, being challenged by Ngoni Makusha. It is going to be a win for Ngoni Makusha on the inside. 10.5 for Makusha. Used to be another Ngoni Makusha from Zimbabwe. I used to run at Florida State University, but I've just been doing my homework over and over again. I do think there are 2 men called Ngoni Makusha that compete for Zimbabwe, and this is the other one, the younger one. It's very good over 100 metres and showed his class there, winning this heat. We might have seen Adama Yame running under protest there, as he did have a reaction time that was too fast. There's results of heat 3. You can see Yame not appearing on the results, even though he took a run. Makusha 10.5, Marc-Brian Louis from Singapore with that brilliant fast start, held on for second at 10.55. So we've got an A and a B final for the men's 100 metres coming up later. Israel Olatunde third, 10.57. So the wind that time around, 0.8 headwind, so perhaps picking up ever so slightly here this afternoon. Now in the northeast of France, it's the city steeped in history, as are so many French cities, and this meeting is phenomenal. Good meeting records and a good smattering of international stars. Just to keep your attention on what's coming up, we have got Louis-Francois Mendy going in the men's high hurdles. We've got Olympic mixed 4x4 silver medalist Annabelle Medina from the Dominican Republic going in the women's 400 metres up against the informed Roxana Gomez of Cuba. The men's 400 metres will be 7 o'clock local time, featuring world and Olympic silver medalist from Colombia, Anthony Jose Zambrano, as he tries to rack up those ranking points to get himself to the Paris Olympic Games. Head towards the 100 metres. I already mentioned we've got Chenier Renginfo Montoya, the new Cuban national record holder in the men's event. And as we look towards the 800s, we've got Cuban duo Daly Cooper Gaspar and Rosie Mary Almanza going in the women's 800. Both gone well under 2 minutes this season. They're hoping to do the same today. The 800 metre for men features the new New Zealand record holder James Preston. He broke the 50-year-old record of John Walker, 44.04, his new lifetime best. He goes up against 19-year-old Oceania champion Peyton Craig and the 2022 NCA champion Moad Zahifi. The 1500s look jam-packed with talent as well on the men's side. We've got Djibouti national record holder for 5,000 metres. Apologies, that's on the women's side. Samia Hassan Noor, she goes against the in-form Italians Marta Zanoni and Giulia April. That's the last event we've got this afternoon. But before that, another couple of men's 100 metre heats. There's the start list for this. On the inside, Andy Corral of France. Personal best of 10.56 at his very best. There's his season's best of 10.83 on show as well. Louis Berton goes in lane 3, part of the Pays de Fontainebleau team. We saw do so fantastically well at the European Clubs Cross Country Championships this year. Yendotian Taibekabe goes in lane 4. Elio Youf goes in lane 5. Apologies, now we're on to lane 6. Paul Lada, French athlete, very close to his lifetime best this season, within 300ths of it. Lucas Rangasme goes in lane 7. Maxence Fassade in lane 8. Winning time for the previous heat, 10.5, very achievable by a number of these men. You might expect Aliou Youf on the middle lane, on lane 5 there, to triumph here. He's got the fastest personal best and season's best. Taiba Kabe push him all the way from lane 4. And away, no problem here. A good start from Aliou Youf in the middle. 10.74, the winning time. Oh, you can look at that wind. I was wondering, why has this race gone so much slower than some of the other ones? But 2.5 headwind for the winner here. And it was number 47. Paul Lada from lane 6. So I thought it was Aliou Youf who got a good start, but got my lanes muddled up. Paul Lada got a flyer, ran all the way to the finish, taking the win here in Heat 4. This meeting here in Troyes Aube is a World Athletics Continental Tour Bronze event, and that means there are great ranking points available for the athletes throughout this afternoon, this evening, if they run fast, and they could improve their world ranking. Paul Lauda took a win here, but just 10.73 for him. Tabakabe was a non-starter in the end. So just a reminder, I think we are running ever so slightly behind schedule here at the Meeting International Troyes Aube. And we'll expect the races to just follow suit, if you like, stay in the same order. There is a generous time between the heats as we move forward into the international programme. Races going off every sort of 10 or 15 minutes, so you might expect the meeting organisers to be able to catch up some time as we move through the programme. But you're being treated to an extra few 100-metre heats here on the European Athletics stream that you might not have had a chance to see otherwise. One more left to go, and it's a totally French affair on Heat 5. They'll be just resetting their blocks. I'll just bring you up to date with the men's hammer competition. It was a win for Humberto Mancilla of Chile ahead of his teammate Gabriel Kerr. 74.74 for Mancilla. And that was a new meeting record. Still short of the Olympic qualifying mark that Mancilla needs, but that will have done his ranking good. He was already ranked 13th in the world, and they'll take 32 men to Paris to the Olympic Games. So Humberto Mancilla and Gabriel Kerr, the two Chileans, 1 and 2, throwing fantastically well. Did better the meeting record of Angera de Coututu of 73.83 that was only set last year. So Kerr was 72.76. Jean-Baptiste Broussel was 72.71 for third. Quentin Bigot, the Frenchman, was only 71.69 for him and good enough for fifth place. Bigot was wonderful, fifth in Tokyo at the Olympics, second at the World Championships in Doha the year before, and he is ranked 35th in the world this year. So the Frenchman Quentin Bigot will need some more ranking points in the next 14 days or so if he's going to make the cut into that top 32 for home Olympic Games. Jan Chaussenard, the number one Frenchman this season, with the season's best of 79.88 and a fifth place at the European Championships. You feel that he's all but sorted for the Olympic Games, and Quentin Bigot does have a bit of work to do. That Olympic qualification window shuts on the 30th of June, so the athletes have got just 14 more days. There's so much action going on in Europe this week, which reflects the fact that athletes are chasing qualifying times and chasing ranking points for the national championship window, which will take place, most of those national championships will take place in 2 weekends' time. We've got a women's hammer competition coming up later as well. We've got a full podium from last year's World University Games, led by the informed Chinese athletes Zhu Jinying and Li Zhangyan. So light on the field action today here in Troyes. Already had that high quality men's hammer, women's hammer, and we've got a women's long jump that will be going on as well. This is Axel Grillet of France. He takes lane 2. Can he get himself back under 11 seconds here today? Cedric Lawson takes lane 3. He's on a new lifetime best this season of 10.88. Gail Doulamini goes in lane 4. Another athlete's on a new lifetime best this season, as has this man, Taslim Ajmi. All three of those in the 1080s this season. Haiti Atiwoto, 1093 this season. And Baptiste Bay is the final athlete out in lane 7. So can we get another winning time sub 11 seconds here? That would be all 5 heats under sub 11. So we'll have an A and B final later on this evening. The start list for that will be finalised once all of these heats are completed. It will still be headlined by the new Cuban national record holder, Xena Rengifo Montoya. A man that's run 9.9 here in Troyes. It's very exciting. And away, no problems here in the 5th heat of the men's 100 metres. Cedric Lawson got a blinder, but he's come under massive pressure. Doulamani looks like he's going to run away with this at the moment. Gail Doulamani does cut the tape, 10.98. It is another sub-11. It's great to see the winds dropped ever so slightly as well. It was minus 2.5 on the previous heat, back down under a 1 metre per second headwind here for Doulamani and this heat. Doulamani, the only man to dip under 11 seconds in this race. He didn't get the best start, did he? Doulamani. He's been credited a reaction time of 0.225, so I'm sure he'll want to go away and improve that. Lawson got the best start, 0.147. Ajmi and Atiwoto got pretty good reaction times as well, but Doulamani made up for it in the second half of the race. There are confirmed results of Heat 5 of the men's 100 metres. And that's the final heat of the preliminary programme here in Troyes. Which means it is time to turn our attention towards the international fields.
Troisième édition du meeting international de Troyes. On est entré dans le top meeting. Vous avez pu suivre le pré-meeting en direct.
This is coverage of the Meeting International d'Athlétisme Troyes Aube in France, one of a number of fantastic meetings put on by the French Athletics Federation. There are so many in the year. Gives their French athletes a wonderful opportunity to compete at high-level competitions. So many of them are streamed, whether it be in France or whether it be out across Europe and the rest of the world, maybe via European Athletics. That might be where you're joining us from today. Just getting geared up for the top meeting races, that's what it says on my schedule. We have had some very good action already so far. So many heats. We're running just a tiny bit behind schedule yet to start the international races. We will get underway with the 110 hurdles and the 100 metre hurdles for women. This is a World Athletics Continental Tour Bronze meeting. Wonderful prize money on up for grabs for our athletes today. The category A events is €1,000 for the win, then 600, 400, 300, 200 for the category B events, 5, 4, 3, 2, €100. And there's an extra sneaky €200 bonus if you hit a fast time as well. So that really incentivises the athletes. There's a look at the weather here in Troyes. It does look a little bit wet, doesn't it? And just 14 degrees centigrade, but that's okay. Let's have a listen to the local organisers.
La pluie commence à s'inviter ce soir et c'est pas forcément la super nouvelle, mais ce n'est pas grave. Héloïse Cab nous accompagne pour cette soirée de gala. Héloïse, donne-nous une bonne raison de rester scotché devant Athlé TV.
La seule et unique raison, on est à 4 jours des Jeux Olympiques et c'est bientôt la dernière possibilité pour les athlètes de réussir à faire les minima. On va espérer que la pluie ne les dérange pas trop quand même.
Mais non, elle ne va pas déranger, les athlètes seront au rendez-vous parce que les organisateurs ont tout prévu et l'un des organisateurs en chef, c'est Charles-Emmanuel Roth qui est avec nous. Charles-Emmanuel, on monte en puissance à Troyes et on montre son expertise dans l'organisation.
Oui, on essaie de progresser tous les ans pour mettre les athlètes dans les meilleures conditions et le plateau est bien meilleur que celui de l'année dernière avec cet échelon gravi en passant bronze.
Bronze, World Athletics, effectivement une quarantaine de nationalités qui seront présentes ce soir. Comment on fait pour faire venir les athlètes à Troyes?
Eh ben, il faut faire connaître le meeting et puis avoir des perfs sur le meeting avec la paire de Louis-François Mendy l'année dernière en 13-18. Ça a apporté une énorme communication, donc tout le monde maintenant a envie de venir et puis on fait pas mal de communication pour continuer de développer le meeting au maximum.
La piste bleue est ouverte, c'est la piste aux étoiles qui nous accueille à Troyes pour la 6e étape du Crédit Mutuel Athlé Tour que vous allez vivre en direct et en intégralité sur Athlé TV. Installez-vous confortablement et découvrez le programme de la soirée.
Great to hear the comments there from the local television commentators here in France and from the meeting director Charles-Emmanuel Roth. He's been very good at communicating all the fantastic action that we've got coming up this evening. You can see the pre-programme there, and we're just moving into the main programme here around about 6:30 local time. We will have some field action with the long jump for women and the hammer throw for women. But loads and loads of track action today. And just a word to say that there are wave lights here. The wave light technology will be switched on for the 800 metres and the 1500 metres and mainly set to Olympic qualifying marks. Just a tiny bit faster for that women's 800, of course, featuring Daly Cooper-Gasper and Rosemary Almanza. Those two have already got the Olympic qualifying mark and they want to go even quicker, but it is a little bit wet here in Troyes Aube. And that will affect for sure, I think, the sprint times. We've already seen a wonderful 13:41 from Louis-François Mendy in a heat around about 2 hours ago. He'll go again here in the final. And that will give us an indication of whether the conditions are improving or deteriorating, perhaps. You can see it's pretty wet. It's been pretty wet across a lot of Europe, particularly northern France. over the last week. Everybody is kind of waiting for summer to turn up, and that's significant for our athletes as they chase Olympic qualifying marks and ranking points. I think the beauty of the ranking points is they are slightly independent of the conditions. I mean, yes and no, you accumulate more ranking points the better your performance is, but by taking a good placing at a ranked event, you can also accumulate your points like that. So this is a Continental Tour bronze level meeting. Let's look back at the hammer results for the men's side. Humberto Mansilla led his Chilean teammate in a 1-2. 74-74 was a new meeting record as well, bettering the mark from last year. Two Chilean athletes very much in contention to be invited to the Olympic Games. They're ranked 12th and 13th in the world, so no issues for them. So our first look at the male high hurdlers. World lead still with Grant Holloway, 13.03. We haven't got a meeting record down for this event. We did have a 13.41 earlier on today, though, so that could perhaps be a new meeting record because that's a fantastic high quality event. So let's look across the whole field for you. So lane one will be Owen Sinner, a 20-year-old, was 5th at the World Junior Championships in 2022 in Cali, Colombia. And then back that up with a 3rd at the European Under-23s, both behind his teammate Sasha Zoya. And it looks like we're going to go through the hammer field for you, or are they the long jumpers? I think that is the long jumpers. So we've had Tyra Gittins, Yanis David, Shaila Singh of India has just been introduced. This is Evelise Veiga of Portugal, 8th at the European Indoor Championships in Istanbul, but a no mark last week in Rome. Tamisha Clark of Australia was 2nd at the National Championships behind Brooke Bushkill. Chloe Clegny is due to be down there. That was her getting introduced there. That is Lauren Callaghan of Ireland, 2nd at their National Indoor Championships by just 3 centimetres actually, Callaghan. And Maëlle Son-Am is just 17 years old. She's jogging off very quickly, and the final athlete is Amanda Coffey. So most of the athletes French down there, apart from Tamisha Clark, Evelise Veiga, Shaila Singh, and of course Lauren Callaghan. There's a look at the start list for the men's 100-metre hurdles. So I was just starting to big up Erwan Sinner in lane 1. He's had a fantastic junior career, which I think in any other nation would be stellar, but unfortunately it's happened alongside Sasha Zoya. He's turning into a fantastic senior athlete as well. French high hurdling, always so healthy, and this year, Olympic year in France, is no different at all. Wilhelm Belossi and Sasha Zoya, Oriel Manga already running very fast. Erwan Sinner, just be hoping to continue his progression and his improvement this year. Miktat Sevler is a 5-time Balkan champion, season's best recently, a 13.63 representing Turkey. Daniel Cisnero of Spain takes lane 3, the Ibero-American silver medalist a couple of years ago. Sant Maria, a late addition to my start list, so I haven't got any information on him, I'm afraid, but this is Louis-Francois Mendy, the African champion, season's best at the Tokyo Golden Grand Prix, 13.50, just bettered that in the heats with 13.41. This is Romain Lecoeur, 5-time national indoor champion, and semi-finalist at the European Championships last week. Amin Bouanani of Algeria will go in lane 7, 2022 African champion. And he was 2nd in the African Games in March too. Louis-Francois Mendy was a few lanes over. It's Alem Inut Anton of Romania, 2nd at the Balkan Championships this year in a season's best of 13.59, very close to his lifetime best of 13.56. So the Chilean Sane de Santa Maria, a late entrant in lane 4, he's got a personal best of 13.57. So Louis-Francois Mendy, very much the star of this field on paper, and he's shown that with a fast time in the heats a couple of hours ago, 13.41. the man from Senegal, who has spoken very eloquently about how athletics pulled him out of poverty and has given him a greater purpose in life. And he's running fantastically well, looking to qualify for his second Olympic Games. And I think athlete in the middle there perhaps didn't hear the starting gun. It was a slow start from Francois Mendy as well. I wonder if there were some issues down at the start. But look at this, Louis-Francois Mendy tearing through the whole field. Is he going to catch absolutely everybody? Nearly. Perhaps we'll have to wait for the official finish there. The time, 13:52, but Martin Sané de Santa Maria might have just snatched it on the line. He's got a personal best of 13:57. Not anymore. He's lowered it to 13:49. Martin Sané de Santa Maria. He got a good start, as did Romain Lecoeur, the Frenchman, in lane 6. Louis-Francois Mendy all out of sorts, but you can see he stuck to his task very well in the middle section of the race, powering through the field, but not quite good enough or fast enough to catch Martin Sané de Santa Maria in lane 4. Perfection from the Chilean. He's delighted with the win here. The clock initially stopped at 13:52, but it's been rounded down to 13:49, which is a new lifetime best for the Chilean. Louis-Francois Mendy, a tenth slower than he was a couple of hours ago. You can see the headwind there, minus 1.5, so tough going here for the men in the 110 hurdles. Romain Lecoeur had a great start and he held on to third place overall. Shali Singh for India going in the women's long jump. The World Junior silver medalist from Nairobi back in 2021. And she's still only 20 years old. Asian champ silver medal in the senior category last year. India proving to really be a force on the international side, particularly with their men, Shashanka and Jasmine Aldrin, jumping into the 840s. Shirley Singh going about her business on the women's side. 6:13 for her opening jump. Early lead for David at 6:35. So Evelise Vega next up on the runway for her first jump. Mentioned she was 8th in Istanbul at the European Indoor Championships. She actually won the World University Games triple jump gold medal back in 2019, so very good over the long and the triple, Vega. So season's best of 6:55, but she did do a slightly windy 6:63. Vega chasing the early lead of Yanis David, 6:35. The Portuguese athlete here, their first jump. Vega has been given the same distance as Yanis David, both on 6:35 for their opening jump. They have a following wind here, which could produce some nice distances. It's at plus 1.7 at the moment. Tamisha Clark next up on the runway. Oceania champ back in 2022. I think she picked up a bronze this year. Those Oceania Championships took place in Fiji last week, so a lot of the Oceania athletes, we've got quite a few Australians and Kiwi athletes over the next couple of hours. Big load of travel in their legs, getting all the way from Fiji to Europe. Tamisha Clark, season's best of 6:35, which is the joint leading mark at the moment of David and Vega. 5.75 for Clark. So Caligny making her way to the start line. The athletes are sheltering under a tent over there, keeping themselves out of the rain in between efforts. Celigny, previous multi-eventer, but looks like she's just doing long jump and 100 this season. Yet to go over 6 metres this season. She has got a lifetime best of 6.28 though, so Celigny makes her way down the runway for the first time. It's actually been given as a foul for Celigny with her first jump. Ayana Montbruno Philemon up next. Personal best of 6.27 was set last year. She has gone over 6 metres indoors this season, not yet on the outdoor season. Agonisingly close with a 5.98 in the last couple of weeks. Bruno Philemon. Wonderful balance there. Poised, coiled in her start position.
Réalisé à Rome il y a quelques jours, 6,88 m.
Montbruno Philemon has had a measurement, it's not been confirmed. 5.38 for Montbruno Philemon. Lauren Callaghan up next. The lead still shared by Yanis David and Evelis Vega at 6.35. Tyra Gittins of Trinidad and Tobago, we missed her, she was the very first athlete to jump. She's done 6.26 so far. So Callaghan next down the runway. And that was a foul for Callaghan, and that leads us on to the women's 100-metre hurdles. So full look at the start list. And we'll go athlete by athlete down the line as well. This is Selina von Jakowski. Switzerland, great improvement in May, very close to 13 seconds, all the way down to 13.01. Today's Elena Sinova goes in lane 2. Liz Clay goes in lane 3. 12.93, her best so far this season. Geda Carmassi of Italy goes in lane 4. Season's best of 12.95. Lots of these athletes underneath 13 seconds this season. Sidoni Fiadadanzoa. There's one lane across as well. De Lazaro goes in between, dipped under 13 seconds in Savona in May. So 3 very strong Italians in the middle. Laura Banco of Hungary goes in lane 7. Crystal Morrison goes out in lane 8. Loads of first and seconds in Europe so far in her campaign. She is one of 7 Jamaican athletes with the Olympic qualifying time. So Crystal Morrison will be laser focused on their national championships that take place in a couple of weeks. Morrison, the fastest, with the personal best at 12:69. De Lazario and Carmassi, the 2 Italians, drawn in lane 4 and lane 5, in very good form. Very quick start from Liz Clay there in the bright orange Puma uniform. The Australian at the moment looking like she might be streaking away with this. Liz Clay going strongly in the middle, coming under pressure from Carmassi of Italy, and it is going to be Giada Carmassi of Italy with a new meeting record, the first sub-13 clocking seen here in Troyes Aube. Giada Carmassi looks delighted with that. Been rounded down to 12.97. Liz Clay did hold on for second place at the moment. We have a look at the replay here. Liz Clay, an absolute blinder. Carmassi at this point looks like she could be down in 3rd or 4th, but as he hit the halfway point, Giada Carmassi just comes flying through the field. She would have loved another couple of flights. I think De Lazario of Italy would have been very, very close to Liz Clay as well in 3rd place. There's a confirmation of the 100-metre hurdles women's result. Giada Carmassi, 12.97. Liz Clay, second place, 12.08. And 200ths separating the Australian and the Italian De Lazario, who ended up taking 3rd. And we're back through to round 2 of the women's long jump. This could be Yanis David. Or a look back at Tyra Gittins, perhaps. So we have a joint lead for David and Veiga of Portugal. 6:35, but Tara Gittins of Trinidad and Tobago has gone out to 6:36, and that was footage of her because here is Yanis David. So Tara Gittins of Trinidad and Tobago, competing in the orange Puma kit, has gone into a 1 centimetre lead. So Yanis David up next. Just a note on Giada Carmassi with that meeting record 12.97. That gets her a €200 bonus. She gets underneath the bonus for that event, which was 13 seconds. Yanis David trying to regain the lead. She's in joint second place now by just 1 centimetre. And their bonus, if you like, to unlock €200 is 6 metres and 50, but we have got a red flag, unfortunately, for Yanis David with her second attempt. The board just obscured there by the officials. David went to go and have a look at it. She must have been very close to it. So no improvement for David, and that takes us to Charlie Singh. 6:13 for her opening jump. She's 20 years old, the Indian. Spending so much time away from home, pushing herself to have an international athletics career, settling the nerves, learning new cities, learning new routines. Singh giving a good showing of herself. So far, the youngster is in 4th place. 6.76 last season for Singh. That looks like it could be good as she get the white flag. Charlie Singh will have improved on 6.13 there. Surely it looked much better than that. 6.19, just a few centimetres improvement. She stays in 4th place. Evelis Veiga up next. You can see the Portuguese athlete using all her experience, choosing to keep her coat on to the very last minute here. Still tied with Yanis David for 2nd place. But already, perhaps hopefully shaken off the demons of Rome, where she headed no mark in qualification. So Evelis Veiga, I'm sure it was a conservative first effort to ensure she got a valid jump. Perhaps the Portuguese athlete might be able to relax here. Evelis Veiga, unfortunately, she has been given a foul there for her 2nd jump. What a shame. They have got a following wind over in the long jump. So you might expect that would push the athletes into the plasticine. Great to see an old school piece of plasticine just being slotted into the board there. Particularly in wet conditions, I think athletes might prefer a plasticine barrier there rather than slippery plastic that we've had in some of the new technology. So we've had great action on the home straight. Martin Senez de Santa Maria taking a win in the men's race at 13.49. Chiara Carmassi with a new meeting record, 12.97. And that takes us to the single laps of the track, starting off with the women's 400 metres. They are setting up their blocks. We've got a great women's hammer competition going on at the moment. Xinying Zhu has got a lead at the moment, 70.82. She's already bettered Rose Loga's championship record from last year. Meeting record. Rose Loga, of course, went on to a wonderful bronze in Rome last week. This could have been Anna Purchase perhaps there in the first round. Purchase is in 2nd place at the moment, 68.40. Zhu Jinying put the marker out there with 70.82. Everyone else just trying to chase that. Another throw just up near the 70-metre mark. I think that's Li Jianyan. Just in the first round here. It's a shame there to see a DNS from Irina Klimets, the Ukrainian. I'm hoping to see her throwing here as well. Li Jianyan, 67.63 to put herself into 3rd place there. Here's the start list for final B of the women's 400 metres. Marie Divino will go in lane 3, but we're going to start on the outside, of course, with Mathilde Descu. Fatou Gay goes in lane 6. That's her season's best, 53.26, on a lifetime best of 52.81. Pauline Toril goes in lane 5. Toriel, new lifetime best, 53.47 this season. Marie Kimumba of Sweden goes in lane 4, 53.41, her lifetime best. Another athlete in the form of her life on the inside, Marie Divino, 53.55 this season. So 5 women go here in the B final of the women's 400 metres. Divino of France, Kimumba of Sweden, Toriel of France in 5, Gay of the Gambia in 6, and Disco of France in lane 7. Athletes up into their running. Gay, of course, from Senegal. Apologies for giving her the incorrect nationality there. Gay of Senegal running so well in lane 6. She's already up on Descu. Fatou Gay running really well here. 53.26, her best this season so far. Some half a second better than that or so on her lifetime best, but perhaps Gay struggling ever so slightly here round the top bend. Descu coming back to alongside Gay. Descu looking strong into the home straight. It's a stagger and wide. Is anybody else going to get involved from the inner lanes? Kimumba of Sweden looking strong as we enter into the last 80 metres. Devigno, the new athlete with a new personal best in the last few weeks, trying to finish strongly. It's all changed down the home straight. Troyes of France is going to pace this to absolute perfection. 53.88 for Toriel. Very calm race from the French woman in the middle lane. Fatou Gay of Senegal went off so hard in lane 6. She had the target of Mathilde Descu outside her. I think those two got caught up with racing each other round that bottom bend as we ended the home straight. Really struggled into the headwind we've got here on the home straight, and Pauline Toril powered through past the likes of Kimumba and Davigno to take the win. As confirmed results of final B, Pauline Toril 53.85, Marie Kimumba 54.26. I think we're due to move straight on to the women's final A after that, but we'll take a moment to catch up with the long jump. Amanda Coffey just making her way to the runway. 5:01 her best so far. Amanda Coffey down the runway for round 2 of the women's long jump. I think she's the last athlete in the jumping order. I think she's jumping number 10. And that is a foul, unfortunately, for Coffey. So as we finish round 2, Tyra Gittins still in the lead by just 1 centimetre ahead of Yanis David and Evelis Vega. Both David and Vega with fouls in the second round as they try and find an extra centimetre. They're tied with 6:35 for second. And Charlie Singh, the Indian youngster, is in 4th place. So Tara Gittins of Trinidad and Tobago, the event leader at the moment, NCAA heptathlon champion from a couple of years ago. I was trying to pick out what I thought was Gittins' very best event. She's a 694 long jumper at best, national record holder for that, but she's also 195 high jumper, holds that national record for Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the multi-event ones, the heptathlon and the pentathlon. She's on a 100 metre personal best this year, Gittins, so you'd expect that to yield a good long jump. 6:36 so far here in Troyes. She has had 6:51 elsewhere this year.
Troisième tentative pour tirage distance. Trinidad et Tobago sans longueur. Elle mène ce concours. Troisième essai.
It's a valid effort for Gittins here. But no, unfortunately, spoke too soon. Red flag for Tyra Gittins and a foul for her. But she does stay in the lead as we turn our attention towards final A of the women's 400 metres. It's a full look at the start list. Katia Gubelmann of Switzerland will go on the outside. Just outside 53 seconds for her season's best, 53.09. And that was Nicole Casido of Ecuador in lane 7. Annabelle Medina of the Dominican Republic goes in lane 6. She's a silver medalist at the Olympic Games in the mixed 4x4. Half-second improvement this year, 51.35. Roxana Gomez of Cuba. Apologies. Our pictures synced up with who's where. So that's Annabelle Medina, silver medalist from Tokyo. Roxana Gomez is on here, her inside. She's in lane 5. National champion already this year from Cuba. Her season's best in fullback, 50.84. Only one loss this season to Salwa Nasser. Camille Seri due in lane 4. National champion over 400 metres hurdles, and Alex Du in lane 3. The 19-year-old took a silver at the European GD Championships in Jerusalem last year. So Katia Gubelmann of Switzerland in lane 8. Nicole Casido of Ecuador goes in lane 7. South American 200 metre champion last year, and she was 3rd in the 400 metres in the personal best as well. So watch out for a fast start from Casido in lane 7. Medina, the Olympic medalist, surely should be part of that relay squad again for the Dominican Republic, but trying to qualify individually as well. Roxana Gomez of Cuba, already the national champion, almost undefeated this season. Can she maintain that streak here? She goes in lane 5, and Camille Seri goes in lane 4, and Alex Du in lane 3. The Cuban Gomez in the all. So just had a refresh of the start list on my system. I was getting confused about who was who. So Seri is on the inside. We don't have Alex Du anymore, the youngster. We've got Camille Seri in the Adidas kit in lane 3. Roxana Gomez in the Puma kit in lane 4. Annabelle Medina running a black long-sleeved top in lane 5. Nicole Casido outside of her, and then Katia Gubelmann. That makes more sense. Just the 5 athletes here in the women's A race. The meeting record, 51.71, with Shana Glebo from 2022. As Evelise Vega runs through on her 3rd attempt in the women's long jump. Li Zhangyan of China in the hammer. World University Games champion last year. I did mention we got the full podium from the World University Games. It's Li, Zhu and then Smish. And Li in third place at the moment. Behind teammate Zhu is leading with a new meeting record of 70.82. Anna Purchase in second, 68.40. Li Zhangyan pretty equal to her first attempt of 73.63 here in the second round of 67.63. 67.13 here for her second round. Clara Tilf up next. Two fouls for Tilf. This is only her second competition of the year so far for the 21-year-old. She's working on some technical things. There's a big field here, so there's a chance that the organisers might slim this down to just 8 athletes as we move into the final 3 rounds. So if she stayed in the circle, that will be valid for Tilf. Just over the 50-metre mark. 8th place at the moment with Troyes of France, 59.54 as we settle back into the women's 400 metres. And they're away this time, running into pretty heavy rain here in Troyes. Very even through the first 100 metres here from these women. Gubelman, the Swiss athlete on the outside, has nobody to see, but if she was to look to her left side, she sees Roxana Gomez with a lightning quick second 100 metres here. Gomez of Cuba didn't look like she was going that fast through the first 100 metres, but then suddenly she has come to life, and Gomez 50.84 her best this season. She looks very much like she could be on to better the meeting record of 51.71 here. Gomez absolutely full of running as she enters the home straight, miles ahead of anybody else. Roxana Gomez of Cuba powering into the rain, driving away. It's going to be second for the French woman Camille Seri, but a win for Roxana Gomez, 50.71. That is a new meeting record by 1 second, and I think Annabelle Medina did pip Camille Seri in the end for second place. But Roxana Gomez, that could be a new season's best in conditions like this. Roxana Gomez of Cuba is certainly an athlete to watch. It's been rounded down to 50.69. So that's a new season's best, her lifetime best, still underneath 50, but the best run of 2024 for Roxana Gomez. Back straight. Absolutely lightning from Roxana Gomez. 8 up the stagger outside of her. Won by nearly 2 seconds in the end over Annabelle Medina. That's her second clocking of the season underneath the Olympic qualifying mark for Roxana Gomez. And I think that's worth so much more given the conditions here. Gomez of Cuba taking the win by almost 2 seconds over Annabelle Medina, the Dominican Republic in second, and Camille Seri in third. Male 400 metres, just athletes just setting up their blocks. Just the one heat for the men, no B heat. Anya Montbruno Philemon has retired from the competition. Real shame to see that. This is Maëlle Saint-Alme. Foul in the first round, 2 metres 51 for Saint-Alme. Saint-Alme, she's been having issues here with the conditions. She's just 17 years old though, jumped 6 metres last season and then added 7 centimetres to her lifetime best earlier on in May. Saint-Alme with real issues though today so far. We haven't seen images of her jumping. Let's hope this third attempt is where she puts it all together. Bruno Finemont is in 8th place at the moment, 5:47. As mentioned, it's sort of common practice for the fields to get slimmed down to just 8 competitors as you move through to the final few rounds. St Alm is still tentative on the runway there into the board. I'll have a look at the slow motion replay here for the 17-year-old. Just look tentative into the board. Maybe a limp out, maybe just the way she exits the pit. 5:57 though, much better effort for St Alm. More than twice as far as she threw last time. This is Zina Nugomateki of France. In round 3 of the women's hammer. She's had 2 fouls, so that would be great for Nugomateki if she's got a valid effort in here. See if she stay in the circle, yep. Of course, Rose Loga, the French #1, picked up a brilliant bronze in Rome behind Sarah Fantini and Anita Vladarczyk. The distance for Nugomateki was 67.04. That puts her in 4th place at the moment. Was due to be our first look at Aleksandra Schmisch of Poland. Sitting on 64.80 for her best so far this season. But women's hammer and the women's long jump will carry on in the background as we turn our attention back to the track. There's a full look at the men's 400 metres. Plenty of talent down there. Introduce them from the outside, starting with Ramsey Angela of the Netherlands. Silver in the men's 4x4 in Tokyo. Had a great year so far. It was a personal best in Poch in February, and then a World Indoor Championship bronze in the 4x4, and then a 200-metre PB in IFAM. Seemed a bit of a longer break between Angela's indoor and outdoor season, so I do wonder if he's been struggling with injury perhaps. 45.42 was a new lifetime best set in Potchefstroom in South Africa, where the Dutch team do so much of their training. This is Luc van Rattigen of Australia, who goes in lane 7. He just won the Oceania Championships and his 2nd event National Championships behind Cooper Sharman. This man has global medals from Doha and Tokyo, both silver medals behind Stephen Gardner. Anthony Jose Zambrano is ranked number 59 in the world this year. If he wants to go to a 2nd Olympic Games and defend that silver medal, he's got to improve his rankings. And the Colombian will try and do just that here today. Reese Holder will go in lane 5. Silver at the World University Games last summer by just a few thousandths. That's his lifetime best though, 44.79. Lesquet, Yolandis Yesquet of Cuba, World Olympic finalist with the 4x4 squad. Sheikh Didiane Diouf of Senegal will go in lane 3, bronze at the African Games in March, and then a personal best in France a few weeks later. The final athlete in lane 2, Elaine Laranjina of Argentina, 2nd at the South American Champs last year, to Anthony Zambrano. She also ran a national record in Brazil in May to win the Ibero-American Championships. That was ahead of Zambrano, so Laranjina and Zambrano, no stranger to racing each other, but quite far apart here, lane 2 and lane 6. High quality men's 400 metres coming up. The world lead, so with Christopher Morales-Williams, 44.05 to win the NCAA Championships. Meeting record, held by Sheikh Didiane Diouf at 45.46. He goes here in lane 3. New lifetime best of 45.03. Can he defend his title here in Troyes Aube and perhaps trouble his meeting record? These men can get under 45.6. There's an extra €200 for the winner. And they are away. Looks like slightly brighter conditions here. Perhaps that rain just starting to ease up, but maybe we've just got different pictures. And that's a strong start in the middle from Reese Holder. He's gone tearing down the back straight here already, ahead of Zambrano, chasing Van Rattigen and Angela. This is a wonderful, wonderful first half from Reese Holder. Can he hold it together in the second half? Reese Holder looking full of running around the top bend, but he's going to come under pressure as he turns into the home straight because there's so much class, so much experience behind him. His personal best is under 45 seconds, but he's only done 45.82. Holder, he withdrew from the national championships, perhaps with injury in the semi-final, and this is the first time we've seen Holder race since then. Oh, he's treading water in the home straight, but Holder is going to hold on for the win here, 45.21. That is an important run for Reese Holder. Yoandis Lesquet was finishing fast inside of him, but Holder surely has been dealing with injuries and issues if he hasn't raced since the Australian National Championships. But back with a bang, 45.19 for Holder, a new meeting record, season's best for Lesquet in second as well. Reese Holder wasn't hanging around here at all. Olympic qualifying time, 45 dead. It will take 48 men to Paris. Reese Holder coming into this competition, the 21-year-old, was ranked 31st in the world. And that will do his campaign no harm at all. But look at the fatigue for Reese Holder. Pain etched all over his body and the fatigue as well. His running form deteriorating in the last 20 metres. But Reese Holder, that was all guts there. You kind of say he's close to being back to his sub 45 second form. If you look at that race, Reese Holder, big win for him by 0.3 over Yoandis Lesquet of Cuba, and Elaine Lalangina of Argentina taking third. Our first look at Anna Purchase in the women's hammer. She sat in second place at the moment, chasing the lead of Jinying Zhu. 70.82. That's the wrong side of 70 metres for Anna Purchase, but so consistent. 68.40, 68.34. Looks perhaps pretty similar for Purchase here in the third round. Coming off 8th place in Rome at the European Championships. After adding 3 metres to her personal best last year and coming third at the NCAs, Anna Purchase starting to settle into her senior career back in Europe. It's come up as 68.22 for Anna Purchase, so 3 throws at all of them in the 68s for Purchase. Li Zhangyan up next. I mentioned that he was the World University Games champion in China at home last season. Season's best, 73.99, is actually her best throw since 2021, her second best ever. She's in third place at the moment behind Purchase and her teammate Zhu. Li, for me, just slowing down ever so slightly there at the point of release. It is over 70 metres though. Li, 67.63, her best so far. That's going to be further. Is it further than 70.84? Can we have another meeting record for a different Chinese athlete? Zhu on 70.82. Li here in the third round, 70.84. She adds 2 centimetres to the meeting record and goes back into the lead. Li and Zhu almost inseparable here as we pass through 3 rounds of the women's hammer. Mention that extra €200 bonus available in the events if they hit the performance mark. That was 70 metres for the women's hammer, so over that I think it will probably be only given to one athlete. The first place prize money here in the women's hammer is €500. important ranking points for these athletes as they try and qualify for Paris. Tamisha Clark in round 4. Shaky couple of rounds, and 6:08 for Clark. Looks pretty similar here in round 4. Green cone in the sand there, I think it's around about 6 metres. So Clark, 6:05, just over that. So her best stays is 6:08. She has 2 jumps left. Over to Shali Singh. Wonderful World Junior silver medal in Nairobi back in 2021. Still a teenager, now 20 years old. Singh is competing in the senior age group. She's doing well so far with that senior medal from the Asian Championships last year. New world lead for Malika Mahambo at the European Championships. Better than Markutara Davis-Woodall. Those two will turn their attention towards the Olympic Games, as will Ivana Spanovic, the likes of Shali Singh, some of the other athletes here, trying to improve their world ranking, trying to get themselves a spot at the Olympics. That looks like it could be well over 6 metres for Singh. If she gets a green flag, definitely past the green cone in the sandpit there. So Singh 6:16, great consistency, but she stays in 4th place. Yanis David and Evelis Vega still in a deadlock. They share the second best mark, 6:35. Vega has second place outright because her second best jump is better than David. Now Vega's second best jump is, however, only 3 metres and 10 centimetres. The pressure from Gittins to regain the lead has seen Evelis Vega and Yanis David push the envelope a little bit with their second and third jumps. It's been 2 fouls for Yanis David since that 6:35 opener. So if she can better 3 metres or so right now, she'll go into second place. But I'm sure she's focusing on Tyra Gittins at 6:36 lead. They are jumping with a following wind here, these women, so it'll be hard. You can see, we don't need to see the flag. See David's reaction. Hat trick, but not the kind of hat trick you want. Another foul for David. She'll go and have a look at the plasticine. See how much it is. Figure out what she can change in her run-up. So look at the start list for the women's 100. That's our next action up on the track. To feel perhaps highlighted by the likes of Rosângela Santos, the Brazilian, unfortunately, who has withdrawn, so no longer highlighted by her. Good international interest here alongside French interest. It is brighter here in Troyes. You can see the sunshine just starting to break through the clouds, and that's great news. We saw the headwind in the long jump just underneath 1 metre per second. They're jumping the opposite direction on the back straight, so hopefully that means a headwind here under 1 metre per second, so not too bad given the conditions we had maybe half an hour or so ago. Marie-Ange Rimluja of France goes in lane 1, very, very close to her lifetime best this season, just 300ths away from it. See the rain still falling here. Hopefully on its way out here. We've got another hour or so of action to go in Troyes. Ebony Lane of Australia goes in lane 2. Eunice Lady Garcia Abreu goes next. The Pan Am Games champion last October. Also picked up a silver in the 200 metres. Nala Soa goes in lane 4. Asher Phillip, 4x1 international medalist, 2 Olympic bronzes, 2 World Championship silvers with the relay squad. Good independent competitor as well. Delphine Nkanza of Belgium goes in lane 6, new personal best, 11:21 this year. Naomi Denon goes in lane 7 for France. Season's best in Montjuron in May. This is Mallory Lecomte, goes in lane 8. So Asher Phillip, European indoor champion over 60 metres, world indoor finalist over that sprint distance as well. So Asher Phillip, very reliable with a good start. Puts that to good use with the 4x1 quartet. They did take a gold in Rome ahead of the French. And there were no issues. We saw so many issues in the men's 100 metre heats, but none here for the women's final. Strong running from Nara Soa on the in the middle of the field. Asher Phillip trying to close hard, but it is going to be Delphine Nkanza that crosses the line first. The Belgian with a great second half, and looking forward to watching that back. It was lightning quick from Nara Soa in lane 4. She couldn't quite hold on to that pace the whole way through. There it is, Nkanza equaling the meeting record. Nara Soa of Madagascar running so well at this stage, just coming under pressure from both sides. Asher Phillip just looked like she was going to get into her running, but suddenly in the last 10-15 metres, Delphine Nkanza did enough to pull herself ahead of the rest of the field and equal the meeting record from Tenorio set a couple of years ago. 11:33. Asher Phillip 11:43. Season's best for Nara Soa of Madagascar 11:45. Garcia Abreu with a season's best as well 11:54. It's Tyra Gittins in round 4 at the women's long jump. She's got a lead by 1 centimetre ahead of Evelise Vega and Yanis David. So here goes Tyra Gittins of Trinidad and Tobago, the national record holder all over the long jump, high jump and the multi-events. She gets her first bit of sunshine as well as she lands in the sand. Gittins generating real power, real speed there with the start of her run-up. And it's been measured at 6:56, a new meeting record for Tyra Gittins. 1.7 following wind. That's nice for Gittins. She's used every single bit of that. That's added 3 centimetres to the meeting record of Marta Koala. Burkina Faso athlete won last year. So Gittins following in good footsteps there, bettering that mark by 3 centimetres. Back to Lee in, apologies, Zhu, also throwing in the blue t-shirt. Both Chinese athletes throwing in the same outfit. So Zhu was the long-time leader from her opening effort. That was a new meeting record. I think that's just outside the sector there for Zhu, right around the 70-metre mark again. Look at the consistency for Zhu. The Chinese athletes lead in the way, both over 70 metres. Yeah, she should be so happy with that series. Wonderfully consistent. Even that foul there.
Et pendant ce temps-là, grosse performance également du côté des
Okay, so not only are Li and Zhu throwing in very similar outfits, they appear to be sharing a hammer.
quatrième tentative, 6,56 m, nouveau record du meeting.
So Li Zhangyan, current meeting leader by 2 centimetres, 70-84. So Li and Zhu, indistinguishable in their outfits, in their throwing implement, and only separated by 2 centimetres on the leaderboard. Let's see, surely we get another throw close to the 70-metre mark. No, just short for Li. Two men's 100-metre heats coming up. And there we can see if there's an official squeegeeing the track. They're obviously confident enough that there's not too much water coming down from the sky, else they might not bother doing that. So that's the status of the women's hammer as we move through to round 4. Two Chinese athletes still locked in the lead the advantage by 2 centimetres. Here's a look at the start list, the final B of the men's 100 metres. DNS from Karidi Awa and Paul Lada. Those 6 athletes should be down there ready to take on this B final. So Ngoni Makusha from Zimbabwe takes lane 3. Franquelo Perez goes in lane 4. Jose Gonzalez from the Dominican Republic goes in lane 3. Pan Am Games winner this year, and a silver in the 200 metres. Israel Olatunde, European Championship finalist a couple of years ago in Munich. Just a semi-final this time round in Rome for him. Adam Thomas was 5th at the World Indoor Championships in Belgrade in 2022. Backed that up with a good outdoor campaign as well. Franco Florio of Argentina, the final athlete in lane 8. Also a rugby sevens player. Florio is national record holder for Argentina with 10-11 a few years ago. Adam Thomas, in the form of his life in 2022 with that 5th place at the World Indoor Championships and then 6th at the National Championships. But he did actually do a personal best last year of 10:14. Just slightly faster than that of Israel Olatunde of Ireland, who goes to his left-hand side, so very closely matched Adam Thomas and Olatunde in 7 and 6. Gonzalez and Perez from the Dominican Republic closer to 10 seconds in lane 4 and lane 5. And their way, no problems. Looks like Israel Olatunde might have got a good start. Gonzalez alongside him, but Perez in his national kit. Perez moving well in lane 4. Franquelo Perez snatches the win here into a -1 headwind, 10.4. Rounded down to 10:38. Lovely rounding here. Olatunde frustrated perhaps the second place in 10:48, best of the rest for the Irishman. Perez very late to rise. His last 20 or 30 metres, it's ragged, it's raw, but it's so effective, so quick for Franquelo Perez. Confirmation of the win for Franquelo Perez of the Dominican Republic, 10:38, ahead of Ireland's Israel Olatunde and Ngoni Makusha, who've been separated by thousandths, Zimbabwean from the Irishman. And Jose Gonzalez just another 100th behind. Israel Olatunde being credited with the second fastest reaction time. Adam Thomas, the 60-metre specialist, just ahead of him. Fanquela Perez, 0.2 is reaction time, so there's certainly more in the tank for the athlete from the Dominican Republic. Back to Yanis David, 6:35, and then 3 fouls as she chases to regain the lead. If this is a green flag for Yanis David, that puts her in second place. Evelise Vega's second best jump scored was 3:10. Those two tied on 6:35. If David can get anything here on the board, she'll go into outright second place. Certainly over 3 metres if it's valid. Let's come up as 6:15. So it is another green flag for Yanis David here. It took her 4 rounds to find it. And that puts her into second place outright. Still chasing that new meeting record mark, 6:56 from Tyra Gittins. So there she goes, David up into second place outright. Evelise Vega up next, 6:35, foul, 3:10, foul. I've mentioned it a few times, these women jumping with the following wind could be causing the high incidences of fouls here. Meters 17 for Vega, so that's better than Yanis David's 6:15 we've just seen. So Evelise Vega goes back up into second place. Those two splitting hairs. Whilst this woman, Tyra Gittins, opened up a gap of 20 centimetres or so with her 6:56 in the 4th round. So season's best for Gittins and a meeting record. Gittins with her 5th round jump. .638 for Gittins. A good consistency for the Trinidad and Tobago. As we go back to the track for the A race for the men's 100 metres. Elohim Karama will go in lane 1. Johnny Renteria, Arthur Cisse, plenty of talent here. There's Ibrahima Karaman. Johnny Renteria of Colombia goes in lane 2. National indoor record holder, and he's just closing in on that 10-second mark. Arthur Cisse goes in lane 3, multiple World and Olympic Games semi-finalist, season's best of 10-1 in Prague a few weeks ago. This man, Shena Rengifo Montoya, has been a sensation in the last few weeks. PB by 0.2 to break the Cuban national record. Balushi goes in lane 5. Mahamadou Fall Sa goes in lane 6. Second Colombian athlete Nika Abello takes lane 7. And Hassan Taftian goes in lane 8. So Shayna Rengifo Montoya, the in-form man, new lifetime best set 2 weeks ago in Spain, 9.9. Can he go sub 10 again here today in Troyes Aube? The weather has improved, it's dried up, but these men would have been running early on today in the rain. They might have had to warm up in the rain. If they've managed to stay dry, stay warm, are they in sub 10 form? Meeting record 10.16, Ibrahima Karama in 2021. He goes in lane 1 here today. Fast start from Arthur Cisse. Arthur Cisse, running fantastically well here. He's coming under pressure from Karama in lane 1. Cisse is good. Oh, is he going to hold on? Abello, the other Colombian, was finishing fast, but Rengifo Montoya of Cuba really struggled on the start there. Arthur Cisse, really textbook perfection from the man from the Ivory Coast. He's very, very experienced. See if we get a side on or a head on replay as well. There we go. You can see Arthur Cisse in his Asics kit in lane 3. Lightning quick start. And he was under pressure here from Camara. I wonder if he would have known that Nika Abello was finishing hard in lane 7. Cisse leans back, hurls his torso across the line just to ensure that he takes the win. Confirmation of that result. Full results for that men's A 100 metres. And the good news is they ran faster than the B. That's always the worry that you end up with someone running faster from the B race. But Arthur Cisse of the Ivory Coast, 10.23, just ahead of Nika Abello of Colombia. Shayna Rengifo Montoya couldn't recapture that form from a couple of weeks ago. But he does have the Olympic qualifying mark, so he will be going to Paris. Arthur Cisse take the top spot here.
Valentine Sava, Chypre pour sa dernière tentative. Malheureusement mordue, elle réalise 64 mètres 02 dans ce concours.
So Zhu here in round 5 of the women's hammer. Was the event leader, was the new meeting record holder, and then got surpassed by her teammate Li. Oh, that looks like that could be very good from Zhu Jingying. That's much further over 70 metres than we've seen from her. The consistency has been here for this Chinese athlete. 70.82, 70.07, 70.75. And she was just 2 centimetres adrift of Li, but it almost didn't feel fair because the consistency from Zhu, and that feels more like it. 72.12 for Zhu Jingling. Another meeting record. They've obliterated Rose Loga's 69.56 here today, the two Chinese athletes. 72.12 for Zhu. Getting very close to her new lifetime best at 72.46. Back with Tamisha Clark in round 5. It's round 6 now. Final jump for Tamisha Clark. You can see the Australian has struggled a little bit. She has got herself over 6 metres after a shaky start. But Clark would love to move herself up just a little bit further here in the women's long jump. Unfortunately, her final jump here in round 6 alongside a 6 metres, 5.93 for Tamisha Clark. Final jump for Shali Singh of India. 20-year-old has got a best of 6.19 from the second round. She has been consistent though. All of her jumps over 6 metres. Charlie Singh, final jump for her here in the women's long jump competition. She's in 4th place at the moment. They are heading into the pit to measure this, so she has got a green flag. I'm afraid that looks quite similar to her other efforts. Charlie Singh should take confidence in the consistency here of her performances in France. Just the one foul, everything else over 6 metres. Her 6th effort here being measured at 6 metres and 11. So Yanis David still tied with her best mark with Evelise Vega, the Frenchwoman, and the Portuguese athlete, been trading second and third place around. So Yanis David, if she can jump further than 6.17, that's Vega's second best jump, she'll go back into 2nd place. See, David had real trouble here with the board, with those 3 fouls in the middle of the competition. David asking for some crowd support. The in-stadium announcer highlighting her to the crowd, getting the rhythmic clapping going. Yanis David, at least 3rd place here for her in Troyes Aube. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. They're waiting. I think it's a red flag for Yanis David. Perhaps they're just checking whether she's okay. Let's have a look there. Board. Bit of an awkward landing for Yanis David. I can't fault David for a commitment there to that last jump. But she won't finish any better than 3rd place. Evelise Vega and Tyra Gittins, the last 2 athletes to jump. Next on the track will be the 2 hurdles races, women's and men's. So if you are tuning in, we are running a little bit behind schedule here in Troyes Aube. Continue to run sequentially. We're going to have the 400 metre hurdles, then the 800 for women, and then the 1500 metre for men. And there's the start list for the women's hurdles. Starting on the outside, Olivia Alexandra, student at the University of San Francisco. She's running 400s and 800s this year alongside her 400 metre hurdles. New lifetime best, 58 seconds this year. Auriel Chaboudet goes in lane 7. A French athlete, world and European age group medalist, season's best for the fastest in 5 years. It's 57.62 for her. Hayley McLean of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, former European junior champion, goes in lane 6. European Championship semi-finalist for Munich a couple of years ago. Linda Amgunu of Cameroon goes in lane 5, 3rd at the All African Games in March in a season's best. Her personal best, 55.94, is a national record for Cameroon. Robin Brown of the Philippines takes lane 4, Asian champion last year. Very close to her flat and hurdles personal bests in Canada in the last couple of weeks. And the final athlete in lane 3, Valeria Cabiza of Colombia, South American bronze medalist last year. She set her season's best in Brazil in May. So Cabiza of Colombia in lane 3, Brown of the Philippines in 4, and Gunu of Cameroon in 5, McLean of Great Britain in 6, Chaboudet of France in lane 7, and Alexandra of France in lane 8. athletes head off towards their first of 10 hurdles. Perhaps the first rise there from Chabodet in lane 7. The French woman has gone absolutely tearing off down the back straight here. Chabodet, so good. As a junior, just trying to convert her way into the senior rank. She's gone very hard in lane 7. Let's see as they rise over the hurdles. It is still a lead at the moment for Aurélie Chabodet. You feel like the athletes, particularly Angounou, are just starting to eat into the lead of the French woman as she approaches with 3 flights left to go. It is still just France ahead of the Cameroon. Hayden McLean finishing hard as well here. They're just entering into the last 50 metres. Linda Agounou finishing strongly, stretches all the way to that hurdle. The French woman and the women from Cameroon battling all the way to the line. It is going to be a gun to take for Aurélie Chabodet. That was a hard run race from Aurélie Chabodet. She worked really hard for that. Was under such pressure and such fatigue on the home straight. 56.83. Pretty big chunk off her season's best, nearly a second. And Gunu holding on to second place in the end. And Alexandra as well, finishing well from lane 8. And Gunu throwing absolutely everything here into the race over the last 50 metres. She won last year in a meeting record of 55.94. And Gunu having to settle for second place. Her and Chabodet so tired there over the last hurdle. My heart was in my mouth. And Gunu pushed herself all the way to the limit to get over that last hurdle. But big season's best for Chabodet as she takes the win. 56.83 ahead of Ngunu, 56.98. Alexandra, a new personal best. So underneath the 58 dead she had coming into this competition. 57.64 for the French women. So I've got a men's 400 metre hurdles as well. You can see the gentlemen just down there with their bags, putting everything into the kit boxes, and the officials will be sprinting around, making sure they've got all the flight hurdles at the right height. So there was no change in that final round of the women's long jump, and there's a confirmed result. Tyra Gittins 6.56. That's enough to take the win. Evelise Veiga 6.35. Yanis David 6.35 as well, but separated on countback. Portuguese athletes take second and the French women third. Season's best for Kilani of France in 6th. Having nearing in on the end of the women's hammer competition as well. We saw that wonderful 72.12 from Zhu in round 5. Her and her teammate have been side by side the whole competition. Here goes Li Zhangyan with her final effort. It was a foul in response to that new meeting record of Zhu. This the 6th and final effort for Li Zhangyan. Oh, that's another throw way over the 70-metre mark. For Li Zhangyan, these two Chinese athletes, whatever they've been doing in the last week here in France, has prepared them so well here to throw consistently. And Li, on paper, with her season's best at 73.99 and her personal best at 74.47, could arguably be the favourite over Zhu, but Zhu beat her at the competitions earlier on this year. Li Zhangyan, I think that's going to be further. Look, with the man standing way past the 70-metre mark. 73.58 for Li, another meeting record, the fourth of the competition. Zhu broke it first, and then Li again, and then finally Zhu. That's the final standings. Li 73.58, new meeting record Zhu in second with a season's best 72.12. And Anna Purchase over 70 metres with her sixth and final throw 70.42.
Et vous l'avez vu entre-temps s'afficher sur le panneau lumineux, la chinoise Yang Li qui va passer en tête du concours du marteau à son dernier essai en rebattant de nouveau le record du meeting 73 mètres 58. Troisième meilleure performance mondiale de l'année.
Retrouvez tous les clubs d'athlétisme sur athlé.fr.
Only a tackle.
So we have two heats of the men's 400-metre hurdles. Here's final B on your screens at the moment. DNS from a few athletes as well, so it's going to be a bit of a sparse field here. So Sumter goes in lane 8. 51.14, his best this season. Takes us to Fantan Kriski of France. Close to his personal best in Huelva in May. 50.69, his best so far this season. Louis Garcia of France goes in lane 4. Best of 51.06. And Omar Babu goes in lane 3. These men quite spread out across the track. Babu from Senegal, 53.87 this season, not that close to his lifetime best. Could he hang on to perhaps Louis Garcia, use him to pace himself? And then his next target might be Grisky, the Frenchman, in lane 6. Somda, Burkina Faso, is out in lane 8. Grisky, the fastest this season, the only athlete underneath 51 seconds here in the B final of the men's 400 hurdles. So 4 of them are away. Babu of Senegal moving well in lane 3. Louis Garcia just getting into his running here, not the fastest out of the blocks. But Somda, Burkina Faso, on the outside. Is he rising first? Let's have a look at this hurdle here. Somda is way ahead out in lane 8 as he paced this right. There's a headwind in the home straight. Somda, Burkina Faso, could be very, very tired as he comes into the home straight here. Just as Louis Garcia gets into his running, he's up on Fantan Kriski, the 2 Frenchmen in the middle of the picture. Babu in lane 3, an isolated figure at the moment, but these 3 come across the penultimate hurdle all together. Fantan Kriski looks like he's paced this so well. He drives off the final barrier. It is going to be a win for France. Fantan Kriski cuts the tape, 50.94. Pretty comparable with his current season's best, and Kriski was the only man to have broken 51 seconds this year, and he's shown that form here to take the win in final B. Season's best for Garcia in third. Umar Babu, a very good first 100 metres or so, but the athlete from Senegal really tired here down the home straight. Fantan Kriski able to get himself ahead of Somda from Burkina Faso. Just into that last hurdle and then off it. It was the way that Kriski powered off the final hurdle shows perhaps even more in the tank. The French National Championships a couple of weeks ago in Angers. Kriski looking at the clock there thinking that was worth so much more. But you can only win the race you're in, and Fantan Kriski 50.92 to take final B. And S.I. Somda at Burkina Faso holding on for second, 51.33. Louis Garcia, season's best, in third. Late entrant here into final A, Wilfred Hapio. Great. A name you want to see pop up on your start list, even if it is last minute. Hapio has been progressing so well over the last couple of years. You just feel like he's struggling ever so slightly this season though. Can get out of the semi-finals of the European Championships. Did however run a season's best there of 48.55. That is nowhere near his lifetime best at 47.41. Wilfred Hapio with the injuries, the likes of Alison dos Santos last year, with Karsten Warholm the year before. I think Wilfred Hapio would have thought that surely he was going to be the next man to pick up a global medal. He's fourth in Eugene, second in Munich behind Karsten Warholm. Hapio keen to get his Olympic season moving forward in the right direction here. France do have three men that could be picked for the Paris Olympic Games. Hapio still top of the pile thanks to a 47.58 last year in Bellinzona in September, so he did finish his year off some fast clockings. Ludwig Vallon also underneath 48 seconds last season, and Clement Ducot 48.26 this season. So those three men looking like they could represent France really well when we look towards those Olympic Games. But Wilfred Hapio, he won't just want to represent, he will want to make that final. I'm sure he would have spent the winter thinking he was very capable of a medal, but you can only imagine there might have been issues for Hapio over the last few months. He's a second or so away from his personal best so far this season. He goes in the middle of a nice field here. It should give him plenty of company and plenty to chase. There's a full look at the field. A special mention to Sergio Fernandez, the European silver medalist back from 2016. A national record in the Olympics back in 2016 as well. He made the semi-final in Rome, as did Lambrughi of Italy. This is Ugo Menin, personal best in the Western Athletic Conference in America, representing Tarleton State University. 49.99. Jordan Teres goes in lane 7. It was third at the National Indoor Championships, and his personal best is coming third at the Outdoor Championships in this event. Julien Bonfant goes in lane 6. He was a finalist in Munich at the European Championships, just a semi-final in Rome. It was wonderful championships for much of the Swiss team, but Bonfant would have been disappointed to be eliminated in the semi-final, as would Wilfred Hapio. He got a bye in the first round, could enter straight into that semi-final stage, but couldn't progress. It was a season's best there in Rome last week though, 48.55. It's the previous European Championship silver medalist Sergio Fernandez, ranked number 43 in the world. They will take 40 athletes for Paris, so Fernandez needing every point he can get his hands on. Mario Lambrughi goes in lane 3, three-time national champion, yet to have broken 50 seconds this year. The final athlete in lane 2, Ousmane Sidibe of Senegal, personal best last year when he came second at the Francophone Games, 49.58. It's the Bide of Senegal in 1, Lambrughi of Italy in 3, Fernandez of Spain in 4, Hapio of France goes in lane 5, Bonvent of Switzerland in 6, Troyes of France in lane 8, and Menin also of France goes in lane 8. It's the men's 400 metre hurdles final A. The meeting record, Christophe Holob last year, 50.2. Conditions not perfect here in Troyes Aube, with this field full of talent. And no way, no problems here. Wilfried Hapio has got the fastest season's best, by far the fastest personal best. And the Frenchman going well in the middle here. I think lane 5 is a perfect lane draw for Wilfried Hapio. Got athletes to aim at outside of him. Good run from Sergio Fernandez, though. You can see him in the green vest, matching the pace of Wilfried Hapio. Hapio went hard down the back straight. That's the following win. Now they will swing into the headwind as they come home. 150 metres left to go here for Wilfried Hapio. Julien Bonvin is starting to match the Frenchman, the Swissman just outside of him. Wilfried Hapio under real pressure from Julien Bonvin, but Hapio, his class, his talent, his strength is rising to the top here over the final flight. Wilfried Hapio grimaces. It could nearly be excused as a smile, but it was a grimace. 48.93, so another sub 50 second clocking for Wilfried Hapio. He would have loved to have come here, I'm sure, and have run faster than he did in Rome. But Wilfried Hapio, if he can bounce back from racing last week to racing here, surely that means the Frenchman's healthy, and that's good news. And he obliterates the meeting record. And that's good news for Hapio's confidence and for the meet here. You want someone like Wilfried Hapio, top of your bill on your meeting records. And that does unlock the €200 bonus for Hapio as well. I think when you're heading into national championships, and very competitive national championships, as you prepare for a home Olympic Games, a win 2 weeks out is important. I wonder if we'll see Wilfried Hapio do anything else in the next fortnight, or whether he will go back now and just train and focus on those national championships. But win by quite a big margin for France's Wilfried Hapio. Julien Bonvin of Switzerland did come through in second place. He was right there with 80 or 90 metres to go or so. Sergio Fernandez came home in third. We'll pause now. Let's hopefully be able to get the audio here of the reflections from Wilfried Hapio.
48, Non, malheureusement, il manquait un peu de fraîcheur pour la fin. Avec le voyage, on est rentré aux Europes dernièrement. Demain, je repars en Thaïlande pour un meeting. Donc, la fatigue était là, mais ça reste encore un chrono en dessous des 49. Comme je dis, il faut de la régularité pour pouvoir descendre encore plus. Donc, ça me va pour les enchaîner. Il faut que je m'adapte à cette vitesse de croisière. Il faut que ce soit maintenant une empreinte et que ce soit une habitude. Et voilà, c'est des meetings comme ça. On n'a pas les conditions idéales, mais il n'y a pas trop de vent. Le temps il est parfait parce que c'est prochaine il faut froid. Donc voilà, il faut savoir courir sous la pluie quand il y a un peu de vent. Et c'est des courses comme ça qui nous font aller plus loin. Et puis tu vas le record du meeting quand même. Ouais. On palmarès de France. Ouais, c'est très beau, ça fait plaisir. C'est important de marquer les gros meetings comme ça qui oublient à tout le monde et de laisser une petite empreinte pour encourager les autres. Et Loïc, tu avais une question pour Wilfried? Alors attends, on va essayer un truc. Normalement là tu dois, on va se coller, mais normalement il doit t'entendre. Bah je vais dire que voilà, c'est des choses qui arrivent. J'ai fait en fonction de la course. Je crois que c'est le Suisse qui m'a pas mal. On était sur la même allure en début de course, donc ouais, ça m'a mis une petite pression et on connaît quand il faut réaccélérer sur la fin, il faut mettre du rythme et j'ai fini en 15. Voilà, je ralentis encore un peu sur la fin de course, mais c'est pas grave, c'est d'étape en étape, ça va aller. Merci Wilfried Hapio, l'international français. Merci.
Local organisers here highlighting Wilfried Hapio, the winner of the men's 400 metre hurdles. My French isn't quite good enough to give you a translation of that, but great to see Hapio smiling. You do feel like this could be an important step as he tries to gain momentum into the Olympic Games. See a real stutter for Hapio into the last hurdle. That to me indicates there's a lot more time in the bag for Hapio. But it also indicates that the Frenchman was tired down the home straight here. So 4 races left here in the Meeting International d'Athlétisme à Troyes Aube in the northeast of France. The World Athletics Continental Tour Bronze meeting. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage so far on the European Athletics stream. I also hope you've had another stream up, perhaps watching the Fly Athens meeting, the pole vault meeting taking place in Greece with Cathal Dennehy, or perhaps the Folkestone Grand Prix taking place in Sweden with Alex Seftel. My name's Hannah England, and we've had a whole load of sprint action here in Troyes Aube here. And next up, it's time for endurance running, and they are going to fire up the wave lights. They've been set here for this women's 800 metres at 1:58 for the first light, and then 1:59.3, that's the Olympic qualifying mark, that's going to be the second light, and then 2:01 for the third light. Ten races here on the women's 800 metres. I think Vera Perara on the outside for Finland will be a pacemaker. She usually is on the circuit. She's sharing, there she is, she has got pace on her chest. She's sharing lane 8 with Tanja Spill of Germany. Personal best dates back to 2021, 2:10.7. Season's best in Karlsruhe the other day for 2:02.92. Rosemary Almanza is undefeated this season. She's been so consistent over the last decade. Miles under 2 minutes pretty much every season. 1:58.89 is faster than anyone else has run in this race. Ola Lakova of Ukraine is European Championship bronze medalist in 2018 and just won the Balkan Champs in a season's best of 2:01. She shares with Eugénie Moral, 25-year-old from France, has been very consistent in the 2:01s. She might chase that final light. Dani Cooper-Gasper of Cuba, second at the National Championships behind her teammate Almanza and at the Pan Am Games. She's run sub-2 a couple of times this season. Charlene Matthias of Luxembourg goes in lane 5, 17-time national champion. And Ellie Sanford goes in lane 4. I found was her season opener this season after coming second in the national championships last year. Flavia Maria de Lima is right on the cusp of being invited to the Paris Olympic Games. She's South American champion from last year. Patricia Silva goes in lane 2, personal best last year, and went over to Budapest to represent the Portuguese squad there. And our final athlete here in lane 1, Julia Charo, Mediterranean under-23 champion earlier on in the year, and then ran a new personal best by 1.3 seconds. She takes herself to 2:01. She could be keeping morale company as they tow that 2:01 light. See, the seeding and the lane draw for these races have been absolutely perfect. There are women that have had to double up in the lanes, but they've been paired with someone that might be targeting a different light, targeting a different time. So they've had an opportunity to separate themselves in their lane as they come towards the break here on the back straight. Perala of Finland has done a good job to get herself ahead of this talented, strong field. I think it could be Julia Charo of France on the inside. Put herself a lot higher up than you might expect for her accolades, but fair play. If everyone else is messing around, why not put yourself in a good position? Two Cuban athletes running side by side, Gasper and Almanza, are just starting to get pinched there in the middle. I think we could see Almanza swing wide here and get herself into a better position. For Charo of France, outdoing herself here, outdoing her ranking, trying to hold on to the front of the field here. Rose Almanza just trying to glide around the outside. Cooper Gasper following her every step as they go through 400 metres in 57.93. That's pretty quick. Spill, unfortunately, the German just steps off the track, heavy strapping on her Achilles. Julia Charo still in the lead here. I mentioned she's already bettered her personal best by 1.3 seconds this year. Could she lower it by even more if she can hold on here in the last 250 metres? A big shove there in the back for Lakova, the Ukrainian, trying to get herself up to third place, but the two Cubans have got to jump on the rest of the field here. Almanza and Cooper Gasper running away from the rest of the field. Almanza on the outside, the more experienced, the faster on paper, just starts to open up her stride as she gets into the last 150. She's pretty close to the lights here at the front of the field. They've been paced at 1:58 so Almanza On for a sub-2 clocking here, surely, as she powers away from the rest of the field. Strong finish from De Lima of Brazil as well. Those ranking points could be so important for Brazilian as she looks towards an opportunity in Paris. 1:59.43. Apologies, it was the other Cuban. It was Cooper Gasper who took the win there. Daly Cooper Gasper, the turn of pace she had there in the last 150 ahead of Rose Almanza was so, so impressive. That is probably the biggest win of Daly Cooper Gasper's life. To hand it to her teammate Rosemary Almanza, who beats her almost every time they race, any time they compete. Meeting record for Cooper Gasper as well. Still short of the Olympic qualifying mark, but the performances at medals at South American Games and the like, Cooper Gasper, her world ranking could be really strong and be strengthened by that performance here. She's beat the meeting record from Tajist Germa last year at 2 dead 42 comprehensively. Rosemary Almanza, I apologise, wrongly identifying the two Cuban athletes. Almanza, lifetime best of 1:56. You would have expected her to run away from Cooper Gasper, but Daly Cooper Gasper, the ever-improving athlete, still just 22 years old. She only went sub-2 for the first time this season, and that's her third clocking underneath 2. And De Lima, that was a really good finish for Flavia Maria De Lima. Season's best for the Brazilian, 2 dead 92. Let's confirm results of the women's 800 metres. Daly Cooper Gasper, what a run. 1:59.4 to take the win for Cuba. Flavia Maria De Lima, wonderful, strong last finishing straight, 2 dead 92, a new season's best for her. Rosemary Almanza looking tired in the last 150, 2:01.73 for her. Ola Lakova held on for 4th. And a season's best for Ellie Sanford of Australia in 7th place. So that was a meeting record for Cooper Gasper as well. Like we've had a lot of change here for this men's 800 metres. Some really exciting names have popped up on the start list, like Kyle Langford, Mohammed Ali Gouaned. Supremely fast personal best for them. Amal Tucker as well for Bosnia and Herzegovina. Herzegovina wasn't on the start lists last night, but there he is, the 142 man. The whole world absolutely blown away by Wanyonyi's 141.7. to win the Kenyan Championships, the third fastest ever. Wonderful run by him. The meeting record stands with Ugo Uyez, 146.31. Uyez was due to run here. Perhaps he's in the 1500 later. Oh, Uyez was down to race, but he's not on my start list now. "12 men will squeeze their way into 8 lanes here. They will have a pacemaker in there, I'm sure. Perhaps, judging by the lane draw, I think it could be Haitem Shenitef, as he's sharing with his Algerian teammate Gouaned, but Shenitef, brilliant athlete in his own right, 146.02 this season. I'm sure he just wants to race, but perhaps Gouaned has drafted him in to help. Domestic interest very much on the inside lanes there, with Amal Tucker for company, Kyle Langford. Unfortunately, there is DNS, who were due to have Guy Learmont and Richard Manuel in this race as well. So we go from 2 Brits to 3 to none. Let's start on the outside. What we've lost in Brits, we've gained in Algerians. Hitem Shenitef goes on the outside here. Mohammed Ali Gouaned Really impressive athlete, very, very competitive. Corentin Leclésio goes in lane 7, 1:45.22, new lifetime best for him this season. Louis Ouret go on his own in lane 6 with Kyle Langford a withdrawal. Ludovic Lemeur takes lane 5. Two athletes sharing lane 4. Nazardine Katir and Sasha Coultreau, both athletes. 1:48 this season. Both got faster personal best though. Here is Amal Tuka, global medalist for Bosnia and Herzegovina, 1:42.51 his lifetime best. Lightning quick. 1:46.26 this season, not bad from Tuka. Romain Nakri and Louis Versil share lane 2. So the pace light, I've been told the first light will be going at 1:44. There we go, I figured it out, bear with me. There is an A race coming up. They have split the field, they had extra entrants in the last half an hour or so. We do have an A race coming up after this. I was thinking there's absolutely nobody from my initial start list on this. So we have a B 800 metres. So Guaned, Shenetef and Tuka, the international class of this field. So they're away here in this B heat of the men's 800 metres. Guaned, Shenetef, the two Algerians on the outside. Will they run together? Is Shenetef perhaps here pacing Guaned? Amal Tuka would say thank you very much for that. Good move from Leclésio of France. He puts himself ahead of Amal Tuka and Ouret as well, the Frenchman, in 5th place. Keep an eye on the clock. Shenetef and Guaned running side by side at the moment. Haitem Shenetef, 46.02 this season. Guaned, 1:44.42. He's in supreme shape. They come through the belt. 51 high. It's not that quick through the belt. You can see the lights just starting to edge away from these men. I'm unsure what the lights are set at here in the B race. And the A race are going to be set on 1:44 for the lead. But Shenetef, he always seemed to kick at the bell like he wasn't happy enough with that time. Shenetef and Guaned, suddenly they separate themselves from the field. Tuka moving well for Bosnia and Herzegovina down the back straight. His trademark was his strong finish at his very best. Amal Tuka, could he be recapturing it here? There you go, Shenetef has stepped off. He was just pacemaking his teammate Guaned, but the Algerian Mohamed Ali Guaned running away from this field at the moment. Amal Tuka was making fantastic ground up on the Algerian, but the Bosnia and Herzegovina athlete has stalled ever so slightly. He's got Louis Ouret for company. Those two battle it out for second as Mohamed Ali Guaned stretches away from this field. He digs deep. He's just starting to falter here. The lactic is hard for Guaned, but he does cut the tape. 1:44.69. That is, if that's confirmed, 100th underneath the standard for the Olympic Games. Which is a wonderful run for Mohamed Ali Guaned. The conditions are absolutely perfect as we move forward to these endurance races. So a new meeting record for Guaned here in the B race. Beats the mark of Hugo Ruiz, who could still come up in the A race. But that is very much the mark to beat for the athletes in the A heat coming up. 1:44.69 for Guaned. It's good second place for Louis Ouret. Could be rewarded with a new lifetime best. And Amal Tuka might have bettered his season's best there, 1:46. Guaned not happy about something, hopefully just the time. There's confirmation of the B final. Mohamed Ali Guaned of Algeria, 1:44.67. It's been rounded down. Louis Ouret of France, new personal best for him in second place. Amal Tuka around about the same as his season's best coming into this competition, 146.8 for him. So perhaps Muhammad Ali, Guaned would be frustrated not to be in the A race as those men just do their strides in the background. You'd have felt that perhaps he's capable of running a bit faster, but I do wonder, 144.67, that'll take some beating when you've got traffic and you've got athletes around you.
On va en effet partir exactement sur les mêmes allures dans cette finale A du 800 mètres, messieurs. Là encore, une grosse start list dans cette course. Et pourquoi pas, en effet, Philippe, améliorer le record du meeting qui vient de tomber il y a quelques instants.
There are all the men I was expecting to see here in Troyes Aube. I looked at the schedule, I was preparing for this meeting. There wasn't two 800 metre men's races, but great to see that action nonetheless. And I was confused how we're missing everybody from this race, particularly the likes of Peyton Craig and James Preston. Two athletes here over from Oceania. Very, very excited to see how they go, particularly James Preston, that 144.04 he ran in Reylingen to break John Walker's 50-year-old national record by nearly a second. That's obscene. You could probably see it coming. His 144.86 to win the national championships by over 3 seconds ahead of Sam Tanner, who's a fantastic athlete in his own right, perhaps maybe more over 1500, but still. And James Preston did that. It was so impressive. This field is just jam-packed with talent. We have got Richard Manuel and Guy Limont, the two British athletes, sharing lane 6. And Mohamed Zahafi, Morocco in there as well, the 2022 national champion, whose time at Texas Tech, and the NCAA champion. Season's best at LA for him, 144.93. So he's still hunting down that Olympic qualifying marker, 144.7, as are so many men in this field. Romain Severin will be pacing, and that's good. What a shame. Maybe we have lost James Preston, that he's meant to be sharing that lane there with Severin. This is Ansei Koza. He's on his own in lane 7. Third year in a row, he's run 156. Here go the two British athletes sharing lane 6 today. Richard Manuel was second at the Division 2 NCAAs last year at Colorado State University. And Guy Limont has so many British medals. One of his best international finishes came last year at 6th at the European Indoor Championships. Mohamed Zahafi is ranked 51st in the world, the NCAA champion from 2022. He needs a good performance here today to keep chipping away at that world ranking. As we head over to lane 6, we have got Raymond Whitfleet, European junior silver medalist from last year, and Peyton Craig, the 19-year-old from Australia. Perhaps those two will face up again in Lima later in the year. Hugo Oyez goes in lane 3 on his own. Meeting record. Well, he was the meeting record holder to Guaned's 144.69 just now. Thomas Marcos de André and Abedin Mujezinovic go in lane 2. We've got a second Moroccan here in lane 1. Abdallah Muslib, a big personal best in Neira in May, 145.74 for him. So they are away, unfortunately, to see that DNS of James Preston, but perhaps a blessing in disguise with a field that's so big, absolutely jam-packed full of talent. You can see the on-vest of Peyton Craig just pushing himself to the fore. The 19-year-old used to be a triathlete. He said he's had to get his head round training for 20 hours and then just running for an hour. Running for an hour or two to running for 1 minute and 45 seconds, but he is learning the event and learning it well. Mohamed Zahafi was pretty quiet last year following that NCAA championship win the year before But with the pink arm sleeves, the Moroccan is slotted into second place. Richard Manuel has done so much leading in so many of his races this season. It'd be good to see the Brit with some companies, won a couple of BMCs in the last couple of weeks. And a good move from Raymond Whitfleet, European Junior silver medalist, slotting himself into fourth place there. A bit of argy-bargy as they take the belt in 51 seconds. It's a little bit slower than they asked for, but still very much on for an Olympic qualifying mark if they can stay out of each other's way here on the second lap. And the Moroccan, Mohamed Zahafi, separates himself from Richard Manuel. The Moroccan looks away here on the back straight. Raymond Whitfleet, he was a sensational at the European Team Championships last year, took the win running a personal best by a second. The Swiss athlete has knocked another second off his personal best this year. He's in brilliant form. The young 19-year-old Australian is looking round, he's looking laboured as he's in fourth place. Richard Manuel starting to tie up. Whitfleet of Switzerland looking to move into second place, but the leader, Moad Zahafi of Morocco, is well away here as he turns the final bend. He's on the lights. Those lights are on Olympic qualifying mark. The Moroccan just starting to tie up. Everybody piling up behind, but it is going to still be a win for Zahafi. What a finish from Peyton Craig there just across the line. 1:45.79. They slowed there in the home straight. Mohamed Ali Gouaned from the first heat. 1 second faster than these men. Mohamed Zahafi, 1:43 man at his very, very best. Gave it everything there to try and run, I think, that 1:44.7 Olympic qualifying mark that he doesn't have yet. So Mohamed Zahafi, just unfortunately, he's having to watch those lights glide away from him in the closing stages. He did well to stay on his feet there. That is 100% lactic for the Moroccan. Peyton Craig finished like an absolute train. Perhaps he was smart down the back straight as everyone else made their moves. Perhaps the 19-year-old will rue the fact he didn't quite go with Zahafi. Craig was third at the Australian National Championships. Peter Boll has already been selected. Craig did go on and win the Oceania Championships, but he's got to prove himself if he wants to make that Australian Olympic squad. Confirmation of the first four at least. Strong finish from Learmonth to get up to fourth place. They might still be photo finishing the rest of them, if I'm honest. They were so close as they came over the line.
Retrouvez tous les clubs d'athlétisme sur athlete.fr.
So 2 track races left here at Troyes Aube, 2 1500 metres. Wonderful 1500 metre, wonderful 800 metre running so far. 1:15:59, meeting record for Daly Cooper Gasper in the women's 800 metres. And a meeting record from Ali Gouaned of Algeria, 1:44:69 from the B race, which is preposterous. It is so often the way as the men get in their way, getting each other's way in that A race, slow each other down ever so slightly. See all those kit collectors there, ready to wait for some big 1500 metre fields. The women's field, very, very closely matched. The first wave light has been set at 4:03 for them. They will have some pacemaking help as well. The likes of Cindy Baudier, Aure Fleuret of France, should be looking to better her season's better. 4:08. Marta Zanoni of Italy, the Italian squad so strong at the moment. It's Gaia Sabatini, Cintavissa, Ludovica Cavalli, already underneath the qualifying mark. I think Marta Zanoni will be very keen to hit that 4:02.5 in the next couple of weeks. There's a look at the full field. Late entry from Samia Hassan Noor, the Djiboutian national record holder, 15:01 at Leiden the other day. So expect her to go hard. She won't want to dawdle, let the pace settle. There's Aure Fleuret of France. Drawn on the outside there, Marta Zanoni just next to her with 40 on her chest. Hassan Noor. Julia April up next. Carla Massip of Spain. We're looking for a rematch with her teammate. Zoya Namov, I think, is right on the inside. Kate Seelbach of Israel as well. One of Israel's best athletes. Pia Fernandez of Argentina are here as well. So many South Americans come here to take advantage of the meetings in France. There's so many meetings on week in, week out. Calabi of Germany, just coming through your screens there. She's a steeplechase specialist. Very, very good over that. And Laura Nagel, New Zealand, just coming through your screens there as well. Zoya Naumov, yeah, final athlete on the inside. She actually won the Spanish University Championships just ahead of Carla Massip, who we saw just over the other side of your screen. So I wonder if Massip and Naumov might relive that Spanish University rivalry here. Hassan Noor, 15:01 for her 5K. That's so much faster than anyone else in this field. Do you think that Hassan Noor might push the pace? Julia April and Marta Zanoni. I mentioned there's strength in that Italian squad. Gaia Sabatini hasn't raced much this year. There's question marks over her form. And Ludovica Cavalli, pretty open about health issues in Rome at the European Championship. So there's spots on the team available if athletes can just run that qualifying time or just get themselves close to it. So there goes the pacemaker, Cindy Baudier, separating herself from the field as Hassan Noor in the Asics kit moving into second place. And Aure Fleuret, a French woman, getting herself out of trouble in second. And Marta Zanoni in the orange vest, the Spanish athlete with 40 on her chest. She is up into third place out of the races there. And Dembil, the other athlete from Djibouti, just behind. Big pack behind. They come through the first 300 metres, bang on 4-minute pace. The pacemaker doing a really good job here. Just getting herself out of trouble, keeping herself away from the other athletes. But the lead pace lights are set to be very, very even. 81 seconds for every 500 metres, giving you exactly 4:03. So if they want the Olympic qualifier, they have to be ahead of these wave lights. Come through the first 400 metres in around about 65 seconds. That's bang on for these women. It's a lovely pack just running together behind. You can see a big move from Yolanda Cabalis, a 19-year-old. See a world under 18 record holder for 2,000 metre steeplechase, but she seems to be focusing more on 8s and 15s this year, running super well at those. And she has got World Junior Championships this year. You can see her, the tall figure with black shorts and a green top on. She's just up into 5th place as the athletes have just let the pacemaker glide away from them. Hassan Noor, the 5K specialist, hasn't done much over 1,500 metres. She's more of a road runner, more of a 5K, 10K kind of woman. And that's showing here as she can't go with the pace of the set by the pacemaker, and Aurore Fleuret senses the danger. The French woman goes to the front. She's trying to get herself back onto those wave lights. Marta Zanoni right behind her. So you want, as an athlete, you seek out an opportunity where you're going to be able to run a fast time, and Aurore Fleuret has realised it could be slipping away from her. The finishing position doesn't matter for her so much here. There's not so much French domestic danger for her. They're through 800 metres in 2:12. That's kind of slow if you want to be running underneath 4:5. Marta Zanoni pulls up alongside Fleuret. These two athletes are going to have to want to work together if they want to keep this pace honest and the pace fast. But Marta Zanoni has got domestic importance here in this field. Zanoni will very much want to make sure she stays ahead of Giulia April and be the top Italian finisher as they head towards their national championships in a couple of weeks. Aurore Fleuret looks content to let Marta Zanoni go ahead here as they go through the kilometre. 1:46.58. It's slow, but it's not impossibly slow. These women have got to work together. They've got to push here in the final stages. It is Marta Zanoni and Aurore Fleuret through the bell. The rest of the athletes just getting gapped ever so slightly behind. Marta Zanoni has been pushing this last 500 metres. She does look good. Aurore Fleuret will be delighted there's someone else at the front of this race. So they pass through 1200, 3:18. Going to need a 45-second clocking here for the last 300 metres if they want to run 4:03. And Marta Zanoni is giving it absolutely everything here. She ran a 47 for her last 300. She could still be on for a personal best. The white lights there, I think those are set perhaps at 4:06. Marta Zanoni trying to get back on terms with those. Aurore Fleuret working hard in second place, and the charge is on. The French woman is definitely vulnerable. There are athletes flying around the last 100 metres behind her. Marta Zanoni looks like she's away here. The Italian grimaces. You can sense those lights just starting to slip away from her. Her personal best 4:05.49 is going to be just outside of that. She's very, very tired in the closing stages. Good finish from the New Zealand athlete Laura Nagel there. Just won the Oceania Championships after coming second at their national championship, so she's in winning ways. And she also just ran a 14:35, the Kiwi athlete that flew through for second place. So that strength coming into good form there over the last 200 metres, and a personal best for the Kiwi athlete as well. So Aurore Fleuret, for me, I think she sensed the danger as they came through with 2 laps to go. The French woman wasn't happy with the split there. Really felt the need to push on. And Zanoni took up the running with 500 metres to go. And you can see the chase was on for those two to really try and get themselves as close as possible to that 4:02.5 Olympic qualifying mark. And Zanoni was really vulnerable here in the last 30 or 40 metres, but she'd done the damage on the rest of the field earlier on in the race, giving herself enough of a buffer that she held on for the win. There's confirmation of the women's 1500 metre result. Zanoni 4:07.77. Nagel of New Zealand 4:09.8, new personal best for her. Fleuret 4:09.94. Season's best for Carla Masip. She does get the bragging rights out of the Spanish athletes as she beats Zoya Naumov. Tired women is lying on the ground there. They've got to get out of the way though, because we've got a men's 1500 metres coming up to finish the programme here. We have had a flurry of meeting records here tonight in Troyes Aube. Starting off with Humberto Manila, the Chilean, through a meeting record of 74.74 to win the men's hammer. And then Li Jiangyan matched that in the women's hammer with a meeting record of 73.58. We also had a meeting record from Giada Karmasi to win the women's 100 metre hurdles, 12.97. Reese Holder of Australia finished on very, very tired legs, but with a brilliant meeting record of 45.19 in the single lap race. Wilfred Hapio, the 400 metre hurdle global finalist, bettered their meeting record in the 400 hurdles. And Daly Cooper Gasper of Cuba ran 1:59.4 to not only turn the tables on her teammate Rosemary Almanza, but also better the previous meeting record. Mohamed Ali Gouaned bettered the men's meeting record as well. His winning time from the 800 metre B race was 1:44.69. So many races go on across Europe, across the world, as athletes try and near in on those Olympic qualifying marks, on those Olympic ranking invitation lists as well. Just 2 weeks left to post your best mark. This meeting here in Troyes Aube is a World Athletics Continental Tour bronze level meeting. So Mohamed Ali Gouaned is 1:44.69. That's an Olympic qualifying mark. But also would have picked up good ranking points. Oh, tired old legs here as the women hobble away from the 1500. Here are the men getting ready for the men's 1500 metres. Archie Davis of Great Britain goes in the middle of the pack there. The athletes spread themselves out. So many of them have run personal best so far this season. Abdelatif Sadiki of Morocco, 3:33 at his best. Salim Kedar as well, just alongside him. He's a 3:33 man. So many of these athletes would love to recapture that form here today. Mayanya of Uganda as well, 3:34 on his day. There's a full list of the start list, a full look at the start list. Mehmet Selik of Turkey, number 63 there, might be one of the fastest on personal best and season's best. 3:35 is new best mark set this season. Two pacemakers, Florian Vathrin and Zan Rudolph. Go on the outside. They have the pace lights to help them. The lights are set at 3:33.5. That's the Olympic qualifying mark. Arthur Gavay on the outside there. City Neves represented Italy at the World Championships. Exited in the heats there. Charlie Davis, 1:44 a few years ago. He's in good form though. He's getting faster with every race. There's a full lineup. I think one of the interesting athletes we just nipped over is Mustafa Smiley. He's a two-time world indoor finalist over 800 metres, 1:44 man, as is Archie Davis. But he's changed up to 1500 metres. And he's getting faster every season. He actually hit a 2-second personal best in Strasbourg. That featured a lot of these men. Alexandre Sellers, the Frenchman, was third there. Oussama Sherard was second, an Algerian that's here in this race. But Ane Lagti Schauder, the 20-year-old, actually won in Strasbourg. He'll certainly be one to watch as this race unfolds. Two pace. Oh no! That is a heavy fall there. I think that's Abdelatif Sadiki. And Abu Mayanya did well to avoid that. He is back on his feet, Sadiki, but head over heels for him. The other athletes did well to avoid that. The two pacemakers just easing away from the group at the moment. Mayanya, not very experienced. There we go. You can see a replay of Abdelatif Sadiki just going tumbling down, taking another man with him as well, I think, perhaps. No fun for those two. I'm sure everybody's heart rate spiked in the middle of that pack and they're spread out. I don't think that's a bad thing though. It gives them all a clear run. Abu Mayanya, 3:34 a few seasons ago. Does look comfortable there in second place, the Ugandan. Four-time national champion, a personal best last year of 3:34. This is his first race of the whole year, the Ugandan. Just leading Mustafa Smiley at the moment. Another athlete's just starting to pile up behind. Salem Kedar, he's got a yellow stripe on the side of his shorts. He's in 3:41 shape, if you believe the form coming into this. Mustafa Smiley just easing himself past Abu Mayanya. The Ugandan's just starting to falter here as the other athletes pile past. That's a 58-second lap there, 1:56 through 800 metres. It's okay, it's not lightning quick. Could be on for around about 3:40 here unless they really get moving. Mustafa Smiley mentioned a recent change to 1500 metres. He could definitely be forgiven for relaxing through the first couple of laps, just gaining confidence and trying to move himself further up through the race. And they take the bell here in the men's 1500 metres. And around about 2:40 or so, another withdrawal. So you've seen athletes really struggle here in the latter stages. A pacemaker, fantastic job here by Zan Rudolph. He's almost a professional pacemaker. There's the Slovenian. He's done a really good job there at dropping these men off. Big move here for Mayanya as he chases down this athlete here in the blue vest who was torn away from the field over the last 400 metres. Archie Davis moving well as he tries to get himself into third place. And Salem Kedar looked like he was moving well as well, just the outside of Archie Davis. These five men pushing so hard as they enter into the home straight. The clock just easing towards 3:30, so it's not going to be lightning quick, but it's been a wonderful race here between these men. It's a battle all the way to the line. This man in the red vest has paced his effort absolutely perfectly. Has beaten some men with much faster personal best than him. Winning time ultimately here in Troyes Aube, 3:38. Thomas Piquart of France, stolen the march here. That's going to be a new personal best for him. All the way they can see him in lane 1. He's very close to his personal best from last year at IFAM, so perhaps knew a 3:38 was on the cards. And 3:40 a couple of weeks ago. But look at this stage here. We're just running 500 metres into the race. They take the bell. Keep an eye out for that red vest of Thomas Piquart. He was absolutely nowhere at the bell, but full of running here down the home straight as those around him just started to tie up, started to flounder ever so slightly. Osama Sharad in the Nike kit there. He was the athlete that made a brave bid on the penultimate lap to push them back into at least 3:35 territory. There's results so far for the men's 1500 metres. Thomas Piquart with a personal best ahead of the Ugandan Abu Mayanya. Osama Sharad in third place. Salem Kedar making it a 3:4 for Algeria in fourth. And Archie Davis being given fifth, but there's a photo finish going on as they sort out some of the other athletes further down the field. So very much hope you've enjoyed the coverage here from Troyes Aube. And if you had a friend running, or perhaps someone you coached or someone you support, very much hope you managed to see them and they performed very well and you've enjoyed yet another stream from European Athletics. It's been a busy night here for European Athletics. The Fly Athens pole vault meeting going on and the Volkswagen Grand Prix from Sollentuna in Switzerland. But the action doesn't stop over the next week or so as we head towards those national championships. On the Continental Tour Gold level, you've got the Pavu Nurmi Games on Tuesday and the Irina Sviminska Memorial in Bydgoszcz on Thursday. Between that, plenty more European athletics action, the JBL Jump Fest, the Liège meeting in Belgium, Athletica in Geneva, and the pole vault meeting in Toulouse, all taking place before those national championships in 2 weeks' time. Athletes will continue to strive for Olympic qualifying marks and continue to try and collect as many world ranking points as possible. It's Olympic year. It is only 6 weeks to go until the action gets underway in Paris. Between now and then, I hope you enjoy all the action that unfolds in the world of athletics.